The vast expanse of the galaxy had become a stage for conflict, each star a witness to the chaos unfolding below. In the heart of the Solar Federation, a small species emerged from the shadows, their presence barely registered among the grand empires that ruled the cosmos. Humanity, often misunderstood, stood at the precipice of a war that would alter their fate forever. On a day when the sun rose over the Federation's capital, a meeting was convened among the leaders of the Straxxis alliance and their newfound human allies. The room, adorned with symbols of honor and valor, buzzed with tension. Each Straxxis leader, their elongated forms glimmering in ceremonial armor, exuded an air of skepticism. They regarded the humans with a mix of intrigue and wariness, unsure of what to make of these newcomers who claimed a stake in a conflict that did not belong to them. At the head of the table sat General Kyler, a towering figure of the Xaner species, whose blue skin shimmered in the dim light. His reputation preceded him, an unwavering strategist with a penchant for decisive action. With deep-set eyes that had seen countless battles, he leaned forward, fixing his gaze on the humans. "Why do you seek to join our fight, fragile creatures?" he inquired, his voice a low rumble. Across from him, a human leader, Commander Sarah Voss, met his gaze without flinching. A veteran of numerous skirmishes on Earth, she had faced adversity with unwavering resolve. "We seek to protect our sovereignty," she replied, her tone steady and resolute. "The Empire of Qom threatens our neutrality. If they wish to impose tribute, we will stand against it." Kyler raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "But you have no honor among the stars. Your involvement could lead to senseless losses. The Qom are seasoned warriors." A ripple of murmurs passed among the Straxxis, their eyes darting to one another in uncertainty. The Umgali, the ancient race that had uplifted humanity, stood to the side, their keen expressions revealing a mixture of pride and concern. They had brought humanity into the fold, introducing them to the galactic stage. Yet, the Umgali understood that the perception of humanity was as much a barrier as a bridge. As the murmur subsided, Commander Voss reached into her satchel, retrieving a sleek data slate. She slid it across the table to the Straxxis leaders. "This," she said, her voice unwavering, "is a text that embodies our philosophy of war." The Straxxis leaders leaned forward, curiosity piqued. Kyler picked up the slate and glanced at the title, "The Art of War." "This is a treatise on battle tactics," he remarked, confusion lacing his words. "You mean to offer a guide to warfare? The beauty of victory?" "No!" Voss interrupted, her tone sharp. "We fight to win. Our history has taught us that honor does not save lives. We fight to be the last standing, regardless of the means." The Straxxis shifted uncomfortably, their belief systems challenged. Kyler's brows furrowed, contemplating her words. "You do not fight for honor?" Voss shook her head. "We fight for survival. The Qom see us as an easy target, but they do not understand who they face. We have a history of survival against greater odds." As the conversation unfolded, the atmosphere grew heavy with anticipation. The Straxxis were accustomed to battles governed by rules, a noble engagement where honor dictated the terms of warfare. The idea that humanity approached war with a ruthless pragmatism unsettled them. One of the younger Straxxis, Rakhoth, leaned in, his voice barely a whisper. "But you will face annihilation. You cannot hope to defeat a force so much larger than your own." Commander Voss smiled, a glimmer of defiance in her eyes. "We have a plan. We will strike first and hard, catching them unprepared. We have technology they cannot comprehend." She paused, gauging the reactions around the table. "If we attack swiftly, we can turn the tide in our favor." A tense silence enveloped the room as the Straxxis weighed her words. They were intrigued, yet deeply apprehensive. What kind of warfare could a fledgling species wage against a battle-hardened empire? Kyler's piercing gaze scrutinized Voss. "You speak of confidence, but we know little of your capabilities. Can your forces withstand the Qom's defenses?" "More than you realize," she responded, a fire igniting within her. We have hidden strengths. Our people may be small, but we have a fierce resolve. It was then that the Umgali, observing the exchange, stepped forward. Humanity is not to be underestimated. Their history, while shrouded in secrecy, is rich with lessons of survival and ingenuity. They are more than the sum of their parts. The Straxxis leaders exchanged glances, uncertain of the unfolding narrative. They were on the brink of a decision that could alter the trajectory of the war. Should they embrace this alliance with a species they scarcely understood? With a reluctant sigh, Kyler leaned back in his chair. Very well. If you believe you can aid us, we will accept your offer. But know this, should you fail, the blame will not rest solely on your shoulders. Voss nodded, determination etched on her face. We will not fail. The Qom will learn that humanity is not to be trifled with. As the meeting concluded, the Straxxis leaders sat in contemplation, grappling with the magnitude of their choice. Outside, the stars twinkled indifferently, unaware of the storm brewing in the depths of space. Humanity was about to redefine what it meant to wage war, and the galaxy would soon bear witness to the fierce determination of a species that had been underestimated for far too long. As dawn broke over the horizon, a crimson hue washed across the battlefield, illuminating the hidden encampment of humanity. Commander Sarah Voss stood atop a small rise, her silhouette framed against the fiery sky. The air crackled with anticipation. Today would be a day of reckoning. She surveyed the terrain, mentally assessing the strategic advantages her forces could leverage against the Qom. Around her, soldiers bustled with a mix of energy and nervous tension. They were equipped with advanced technology and weapons, but it was the heart of the humans that would carry them through the impending storm. The hum of machinery filled the air as armored transports and artillery units were positioned, their sleek forms contrasting sharply with the rugged landscape. Commander, a voice cut through the morning chill. Lieutenant Marcus Hale, her trusted second-in-command, approached, urgency etched across his features. The drones have completed their reconnaissance. The Qom defenses are formidable, but there's a weakness we can exploit. Voss turned, her brow furrowing with curiosity. What have you found? According to the data, the Qom have concentrated their forces on the western flank, anticipating a frontal assault. Their eastern perimeter, however, is less fortified. If we strike there, we can disrupt their command and sow confusion. Hale's voice trembled with excitement, his enthusiasm infectious. A flicker of determination ignited in Voss's chest. So we'll create a diversion, gather the troops, and inform them of the plan. We attack from the east, and while they scramble to respond, we'll hit their command center directly. As Hale relayed her orders, Voss felt the weight of responsibility settle heavily upon her shoulders. This was not merely a military maneuver. It was a test of humanity's resolve and ingenuity. In that moment, she recalled the countless stories of her ancestors, their struggles, their victories, their indomitable spirit. Each tale had shaped her understanding of warfare, and now it fueled her determination. With the troops assembled, Voss faced them, her heart pounding in rhythm with the chants of her soldiers. Today, we fight not just for ourselves, but for every soul who has been marginalized and underestimated in this galaxy. She paused, allowing the gravity of her words to sink in. The Empire of Qom believes us weak, but we will show them that humanity is a force to be reckoned with. We will strike swiftly and decisively, leaving no room for doubt. A roar of approval surged through the ranks, igniting the spark of camaraderie that bound them together. Voss felt her pulse quicken. They were ready. As they prepared for battle, Voss turned to Hale, who was adjusting his gear. Are the drones in position? Yes, Commander. They'll provide real-time feedback during the attack, allowing us to adapt our strategy on the fly. His eyes gleamed with excitement, a testament to their shared resolve. Good. I want you to stay close to the command unit. If anything goes awry, I need your tactical insight. Understood, he replied, his voice steady. I won't let you down. The human forces move with a practiced efficiency, every individual playing their part in the grand design. As the sun ascended, the soldiers climbed into their armored transports, the vehicles rumbling to life. Voss took a deep breath, steeling herself for the chaos that lay ahead. As they approached the Qom encampment, the landscape transformed from tranquil to hostile. A wall of earthen fortifications loomed ahead, with Qom soldiers stationed atop, their armor glinting menacingly in the sun. Voss's heart raced. They had to remain calm, focused on their objective. "Deploy the drones," she commanded, her voice steady despite the tension that coiled in her stomach. The drones whirred to life, darting into the air like metallic insects. Voss watched through the monitor as they relayed images of the Qom defenses. The view was alarming, but she had learned to embrace fear as a catalyst for action. "All units, prepare for engagement," she shouted, her voice slicing through the mounting anxiety. As the transports rumbled forward, a sudden explosion rocked the ground beneath them. Voss's heart dropped. What was that? Hale's expression darkened as he scanned the monitors. "A surprise attack from the Qom. They must have anticipated our movement." Voss clenched her fists, adrenaline surging through her veins. "Reroute the eastern flank. We cannot allow them to regain control. We need to stay on the offensive." The soldiers obeyed, pivoting their transports and redirecting fire toward the Qom troops. The battle erupted in a cacophony of blaring alarms and explosive blasts. Smoke filled the air, obscuring the chaos around them. Voss's focus narrowed as she navigated the chaos, her instincts guiding her. "Hale, adjust our strategy. We need to flank them and push toward their command center now." "On it," Hale replied, determination etched across his features. As they maneuvered through the fray, Voss felt a surge of hope. Humanity was not fighting for honor. They were fighting for survival, employing every resource they had. The Qom, with their rigid traditions and expectations, were about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating their opponent. "Push forward," Voss shouted, her voice rising above the din. "We will show them what humanity is capable of." As the troops surged ahead, an explosive wave of energy surged through the ranks. The Qom were caught off guard, their command structure fracturing under the relentless assault. Voss's heart raced with exhilaration. Victory was within reach. Yet, lurking behind the veil of chaos, the Qom had not yet revealed their full might. A flicker of unease danced in Voss's mind, but she pushed it aside. Humanity had come too far to turn back now. Today was only the beginning, a prelude to a conflict that would determine their place among the stars. As the dust settled over the battlefield, Voss steeled herself for what was to come. Humanity would fight not just for survival, but for the legacy they would carve into the annals of galactic history. And they would do so with a fierce, unyielding spirit that refused to be extinguished. The battlefield lay shrouded in a pall of dust and smoke, remnants of the chaos that had erupted just hours before. Commander Sarah Voss stood amid the wreckage of what had once been a Qom encampment, her heart pounding with adrenaline and disbelief. They had succeeded against the odds, but the victory came at a heavy cost. Around her, the sounds of the aftermath reverberated. Medics rushed to tend to the wounded, their faces grim and resolute. Soldiers sifted through the debris, collecting weapons and equipment, their expressions a mixture of triumph and shock. Voss watched as they worked, a knot tightening in her stomach. The gravity of their actions weighed heavily on her conscience. War was not a game. It was a ruthless reality that demanded sacrifices. "Commander," Lieutenant Marcus Hale approached, his brow furrowed and covered in soot. "The drones captured the entire engagement. We need to assess the damage and prepare for a potential counterattack." "Right." Voss straightened, her voice steady despite the turmoil in her mind. "Gather the commanding officers. We need a debriefing to discuss our next steps." As the officers assembled around her, Voss surveyed the group. Each face bore the scars of battle, some marred by exhaustion, others by grief. They had fought valiantly, but the victory had come with a steep price. The weight of responsibility pressed upon her shoulders. Today, We faced a formidable enemy and emerged victorious, she began, her voice steady. However, we must acknowledge the loss of life and the destruction we caused. This is a turning point for humanity, and we must navigate the aftermath with wisdom. Hale nodded, his expression serious. The Qom will not take this lightly. They'll regroup, and their response will likely be swift. We need to fortify our position and prepare for retaliation. Voss glanced around the room, her heart heavy with the burden of leadership. What's the status of our forces? We lost about 20% of our troops in the initial assault, Hale reported, his tone grim. We have injured personnel who require immediate attention, and we need to reestablish our defenses. A murmur of discontent rippled through the assembled officers. The loss was staggering, a sobering reminder of the reality they faced. Voss held up a hand, silencing the murmurs. This is not a time for despair. We are survivors, and we will learn from this. We will adapt and strengthen our resolve. As they began to discuss logistics, Voss felt a growing unease settle in her gut. They had achieved a tactical victory, but what would it mean in the grand scheme of the conflict? Would this assault embolden the Qom, turning them into a vengeful force? The questions lingered, unyielding. Commander, one of the officers interjected, breaking her thoughts. What about our alliance with the Straxxis? Should we reach out to them for support? Voss nodded, grateful for the reminder. Yes, we need their expertise and additional manpower. Their understanding of the terrain and the Qom's tactics could be invaluable. Let's draft a message and send a delegation. The officers quickly organized a plan, their energy rekindling in the wake of the discussion. Voss felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. They would not face this challenge alone. After the meeting, Voss sought a moment of solitude, needing to process the whirlwind of emotions swirling within her. She climbed a nearby rise, looking out over the battlefield. The sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the scorched earth. As the light faded, the toll of their actions became starkly clear. Commander, Hale's voice broke her reverie as he joined her, his expression softening. You did well today. We took the initiative, and we surprised them. Voss turned, meeting his gaze. But at what cost, Marcus? We've shown the galaxy what humanity is capable of, but I fear the repercussions. Hale took a step closer, his brow furrowed. The Qom may see this as a declaration of war, but we have to be prepared. This victory gives us leverage, a chance to negotiate from a position of strength. Strength, Voss echoed, her voice heavy. I want to believe that, but I can't shake the feeling that we've crossed a line. We've unleashed a fury that could consume us. We're fighters, Sarah, Hale replied, his tone steady. This is what we do. We adapt. We survive. You taught us that. We can't shy away from our nature. His words rang true, a reminder of the resilience that had defined humanity throughout history. Voss felt a flicker of determination surge within her. They would endure. They would find a way to navigate the storm ahead. As they returned to the encampment, the atmosphere shifted. The soldiers were regrouping, sharing stories of bravery and survival. Laughter mingled with the somber reality of their losses, a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure even in the darkest times. Voss stepped forward, raising her voice to gather their attention. Listen up, everyone. Today, we faced unimaginable odds and emerged victorious. We've proven our strength and our resolve. But this is only the beginning. The soldiers quieted, their faces turning toward her, eager for her words. We must remember those we lost and honor their sacrifice by fighting for a future where humanity is respected and feared not just for our strength, but for our resilience and unity. Together, we will continue to push forward, to fight for our place in this galaxy. A roar of approval erupted from the crowd, a surge of camaraderie that coursed through their ranks. In that moment, Voss knew they would rise to the challenges ahead, united in their purpose. As night descended, she felt a renewed sense of determination. They had shown their capabilities, but the battle for survival was far from over. The Qom would retaliate, and humanity would have to stand firm against the storm that loomed on the horizon. Together, they would forge their path, proving that humanity would not be underestimated. With a fierce spirit and unyielding resolve, they would embrace the chaos of war, ready to carve their legacy among the stars.